Hi guys! So I did my research topic on if controlling neuroticism, if work factors could actually be correlated to stress in the workplace for OBGYNs or / physicians. Neuroticism is considered one of the big 5 personality traits. The big 5 personality traits consist of agreeableness, conscientiousness, extroversion, neuroticism, and openness. Neuroticism is typically considered a negative personality trait. It can be expressed as being moody, angry, frustrated, anxious, being jealous, depressed, or even shyness. The researchers that performed my research article were Farrow, Ahrens, Gunthert, and Shulkin. They identified neuroticism has been apparent in previous studies, and when conducting research, it pertains to what causes physician stress. So it's best to eliminate the trait altogether to get better, more accurate results. What they did, so the method that they used was they sent out 500 surveys to randomly selected physicians at the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists. Surveys were sent out to participants in January of 2013, with a reminder sent out to those who did not put in a response at all. So all of their responses were expected to be back by May 31st of 2013, so a total of 5 months. Responses could be either sent in via mail or online, and those who decided to put in their responses through mail, the paper that came in with the surveys already had a pre-stamped envelope for them to send their responses back to surveyors. Some main discoveries that they had was those who are typically more susceptible to negativity are more generally those who are higher in the personality trait neuroticism and are more likely to report higher stress levels, which then ultimately limits the ability of researchers to understand the extent to which environmental or external factors contribute to their stress. So, controlling this trait was a huge contributor for them to get good enough results for their experiment, because neuroticism isn't typically a controlled variable in experiments, but it should start to be. Some discoveries they found were suggestions for future researchers to examine extra protective factors when gathering their data, which includes considering the contribution of outside work stressors, which can consist of illness, relationship problems, financial problems, caring for an aging parent, etc. Those all play major roles into taking this survey. So if you're at home and you just had a really awful day and you were treated rude, or you just come home and you're very sad and you take this survey, what happened throughout your day could impact your responses. So what this means is, by assessing physicians' personality factors, it identifies the resolution to prevent stress-related problems for physicians. The results from performing this experiment shows work-related factors are related to perceived stress, even when controlling that neuroticism trait. So the researchers try to stray away from those who are experiencing negative, anxious, frustration, depression, or guilty thoughts, so they can focus on those who aren't already negatively impacted. But it was already proven that those who are already predisposed to negativity tend to be those who are more likely to report higher stress levels, which then limits the researchers again to see the full effect of the environmental and external factors. Some strengths that they had were they gave the participants a long time to collect responses. So they sent out responses January and were expected back May 13th, so it's a long enough time. Of 500 potential participants, 287 OBGYNs completed the survey for a response rate of 57.4, which is not very bad. It's a very good back response rate. Some weaknesses that they had were it possibly was too long of a time frame to collect responses. They distributed those responses on January, but it could have been too long of a time to get those back. They could have forgotten. They took all of the data of the people and got genders and ethnicities and such, but they did not take into consideration all of the variables around the person that could have affected them prior to taking the survey. So it's hard to get a lot of feedback with surveys, so surveys are really hard to get feedback on. And that's it. Overall, this experiment was interesting. Never would I have expected to take into consideration personality traits when gathering data, but I've come to realize that when performing an experiment like this, there's a lot that comes into play with getting good results and feedback, and I ultimately agree with my researchers. Thanks.